It's all about compackaging. If you've never heard of the word compackaging, today's your lucky day. We're compackaging great local art and great local wine. But what we expect from a Rhone white blend, it's really kind of this overall structure that is a little bit more savory, a little bit riper, a little bit more kind of in that citrus, apricot, stone fruit lane. But for us, Sketch needs to be a little bit more serious. And so I think the blend itself is quite compelling. The Marsanne here is going to be your kind of your driving fruit forward character. Your Roussanne is going to be a little bit of an underripe herb, fresh herb de Provence, a little bit sage, rosemary, kind of those spicy herbs in a way, a little bit of fennel. And then your Viognier is going to kind of come in with the main structure of the wine with a higher degree of acid, a little bit more body due to alcohol content, and overall just create a really well-balanced wine. So I'm going to do a tasting with you guys. Hopefully you'll be able to taste the wine soon. All right, so a smell of the 2021 Sketch White Blend. Okay, I think the thing that really pops out of the glass almost immediately is kind of this roasted sesame, roasted kind of toasty brioche character. I akin that a little bit to the oak character, but I more akin that to the surly aging of the wines. All three of these wines were aged on lees. There's a little bit of that kind of toasty sesame kind of character coming through. It's kind of driving the car, if you will, and then right next to it is this really nice, almost like Meyer lemon, candied lemon, citronella kind of character going on, a little bit of an orange oil, and then that's kind of followed by these fresh herbs with a little bit of a spicy herb coming from like a rosemary, a lavender character. Right off the bat, there's a lot of nuance, a lot of layers to the wine, and that just speaks to the overall quality of the wine. It's not one-dimensional, it's more complex, particularly with a little bit of airtime, and particularly if you open it up and allow it to get a little bit warmer in the glass. Gosh, it's so good. It has an evolution that it tastes leaner than I think the overall wine is. It's broad across the mid palate. You can definitely feel the texture and the kind of the nuance of that surly aging. It's very rich across the mid palate. It's lean up front. It finishes lean on the back palate. It kind of just makes you want to continue tasting. There's a little bit of a briny green olive component on the finish too that makes it pair well to really kind of seafood-based dishes or dishes that have like a lemon pepper component. I can see this pairing very well to like a fatty tuna or like an escolar type dish. Wasabi, anything kind of like sushi related that has kind of that umami character with both the sweet, the sour, the bitter, and kind of that overall combination of those things, I think really brings this wine to its perfect pairing point. Yeah, it's really complete. It's balanced across the entire profile. Obviously, these are our wines, so I'm going to talk it up, but I wouldn't necessarily go to the links that I'm doing just to sell a bottle of wine. I think this wine really does show a lot of sophistication across the palate, layers of flavors that have been built on top of each other, one not necessarily dominating the other, one grape kind of putting in check the next grape. Again, Marsanne being the dominant grape at 50%. And this particular vintage was the fruitier wine. It was the wine that almost came off in a way like a sweet wine, even though it didn't have sugar. The Roussanne harvested appropriately, but was a little bit leaner in this particular vintage, produced a wine that had a little bit more of that spicy, fresh herb character, and then the Viognier kind of coming in with a little bit of that barrel fermentation character that's producing a little bit of a fleshier pitted fruit, but also it was harvested at a lower brick, so it's kind of reinforcing the overall acidity of the wine and therefore driving the freshness of this particular wine. I think this wine will age quite well. it's really one of these wines that I think that speaks a lot of volume in terms of what blending can actually do for the overall quality of a wine. And that's really what Vinovium is known for in terms of our blends, but also what Sketch is really known for in terms of working with different people across the vintages to make one compelling wine and being able to tell a story around that wine by putting really beautiful art on the label. So there you go, you guys. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in. And if you like this, definitely come buy a bottle and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.